Alright, I admit that I still have not watched the first 3 Mission Impossible films. Question is, will that affect my outlook on this movie? Stay tuned to find out. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Ethan Hunt is on the run from the CIA because the head of the CIA thinks he's bad news. He's like, hey, Ethan Hunt's a dick, so we're gonna track him down. I don't know, for some reason the CIA blames the IMF for all the problems they've caused. And not only that, but they're like, yeah, we're just gonna shut down the IMF completely. That's the Impossible Mission Force, for those of you who don't know. So there is no IMF in this movie, which wasn't that the case in the last movie as well? In any case, there is this new group out there called the Syndicate. They're this Rogue Nation, as they call it. They're a terrorist group. And now Ethan Hunt and the team have to take it down. Now, I was worried about comparing this movie to Ghost Protocol because Ghost Protocol was just so awesome when it came out, and it still is. So, is this movie as good as Ghost Protocol? Yes! This movie was completely awesome! I was worried because, you know, it's a different director, he might want to do a different take on Mission Impossible, he might want to just exterminate the team and just leave it all to Tom Cruise. But no, the team is back, the banter is back, it's the team, it's all about the team. I like team movies, what can I say? The only thing though is that it does not explain at all whatsoever what happened to Paula Patton's character. I thought they would explain it, but she's not even mentioned at all. I guess we just can't have more than one Agent Carter in mainstream media now. But the characters in this movie were all great. Ethan Hunt this time around is really pushed to his limits. It was really cool to see. Because you know in the last one, he was just, you know, calm, cool, collected the whole time. He's like, yeah, I'll take care of it, you know, I'm Ethan Hunt, I can do anything. And so in this one, they kind of play off of that, you know, people are like, yeah, he's Ethan Hunt, he can do anything, so we can rely on him to hold his breath for 3 minutes. But Ethan Hunt is just a normal human being, just like anyone else, he just works out a lot. And this movie gets personal for him, you know, like a good title for this would have been Mission Impossible This Time It's Personal, and that would have worked. It was really cool to see Ethan Hunt, you know, have no other choice than to do what the bad guy wants him to do. Sometimes they don't pull that off in movies, but this time they did. And yes, they brought back the team. Jeremy Renner is back, Simon Pegg is back, Ving Rhames is back. He's from the previous Mission Impossible films, so I haven't really seen him. That's one reason I was worried, you know, that I haven't seen the first 3, so would I not know much about him? You know, would I be lost? But no, I like Ving Rhames' character in this movie. Luther is a badass and he's really funny. He has some of the funniest lines in this movie. This movie is really funny as a whole. All the characters have comedic timing that, you know, is straight up still. Jeremy Renner has really funny moments. Simon Pegg, of course. Now, Rebecca Ferguson's character Ilsa was a really confusing character. Throughout the entire movie, you're never sure if she's a good guy or a bad guy. She keeps switching throughout the whole film. She so reminded me of Black Widow, it was crazy. She even did what I call the Black Widow move, you know, where she takes the guy's head by her legs and just pins him to the floor. I call that the Black Widow move because it was introduced pretty much in Iron Man 2. But she was a really cool character. She was complex. She had sexual tension with Ethan Hunt. It made the movie really interesting. It gave it another layer. Now let's talk about the action in this movie. Holy crap, the action scenes in this movie were big. They were awesome. And this movie did something very smart. They started the whole movie off with a big action scene. It set the tone for the whole movie. My favorite action scene in this movie is this big chase scene they have in the middle of the film. It's an awesome car chase. You know, everyone's going after each other and then the car chase ends. But the action's not over yet because now it's a motorcycle chase and they're chasing each other on this highway. It's high octane. It's edge of your seat. It's memorable is what it is. Now they are a little more crazy, over the top, and ridiculous than Ghost Protocol was. Now Ghost Protocol had some unrealistic elements in it, but Rogue Nation had a lot more unrealistic elements in it. So that's my biggest gripe about the film, is that some things when they happen, you know, they're just way too unbelievable. They're like, oh, that would not happen, come on. However, there were some other times where something would happen, you're like, oh shit, you know, that's kind of what I wanted to happen, and it really did happen, and oh my god, I didn't think that would happen. You know, some movies are too scared to make the hard call, you know, can we show an audience that? And this movie actually does it a few times. That brought the movie up. With so many things adding positives to this movie, yeah. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation brought the team back, the dialogue was awesome, the action scenes were great, the characters, the acting, the score was really good too. I wouldn't say the score was as good as Ghost Protocol's was. Ghost Protocol's score was awesome. This movie uses the Mission Impossible theme, of course, but they do something a little different with it. It's a different composer. I'm pretty sure all the movies have a different composer, you know, just like they have different directors. So each composer is gonna have their different take on the Mission Impossible theme. And there were some great moments in the score, but there were others where I was like, you know, that's not how the theme sounds, no. I'm going on a bit too much about the score. Bottom line, this movie is awesome. In fact, so awesome that I will say, go see this movie right now. That makes me so happy. We now have 2 awesome Mission Impossible films. If we get another awesome Mission Impossible film, we have an awesome trilogy. That would be awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. And I still don't need to have seen the first 3 Mission Impossible films. This movie stands on its own as long as you've seen the 4th one, though. So if you've seen Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, what did you think about it? What did you think about it compared to Ghost Protocol? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.